All praise is due to Allah, who has united the hearts of the believers in Islam, and has made it an obligation to remain united, and has made it forbidden to become separated in His clear book. I bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, who guides to the straight path whom He wills, and I bear witness that our leader Muhammad is His messenger, and the best caller to the way that is straight. O Allah, send your prayers and your peace upon our leader Muhammad and upon his family and upon his companions, whose hearts were united and whose souls were educated, so that they became victorious leaders. And what follows thereafter, O believers of Allah, I advise you as well as I advise myself, to first have the proper regard for Allah, and thereafter be obedient to Him. Dear believers, I greet you with the universal greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be with you. This week we look at the attribute of Al-Badi, which means the incomparable originator. And when we discuss this attribute of Allah, we must remember that we talked about before previously that some attributes describe who Allah is, and some attributes describe what Allah does, and then also what Allah does for us specifically. But this one is still in the context of who Allah is and also what He does. It combines them both, meaning that He is the incomparable originator. So by this concept, we think of there was nothing created prior to Allah's decision to produce creation. Everything that we can think of. There was not a template for the galaxy that Allah took and used to put the galaxy together, to put this universe together, to create all these things that we look at and that we marvel at. This idea or this ability for us to get the time from the rotation of the earth and its movement and the cycles of the moon. None of these things were a template for our Creator. None of these things were there. It was our Creator's unique ability to originate these things, to originate creation. Even as we look in, as scientists and doctors look into the body, and they see all these systems, they see how they interact, they see where different medicines or different vitamins and nutrients are in the foods and the vegetables that are available for us. There was no template for that. Allah did not consult a cookbook for people. Allah did not consult a cookbook for animals or for the earth or for air. It was by His own will and design that everything was perfectly created for our success, for our ability to live and exist on this planet. So Allah is unique in that sense, in that there was nothing that He went by. For us, we know that we may have a recipe from grandma. Maybe we've got a template for a memo. Maybe we have mentors. Maybe we have others that have provided us with some insight on how to be better and how to do things or accomplish things in our life. Maybe we have parents, older siblings, aunts, uncles, someone to help influence and shape the things that we do, the person that we are, the things that we decide to engage in. And it's not saying that Allah was ever in need of that. That is why He is Al-Badi. He is the incomparable originator. He was not insufficient in capacity. He was not incapable of doing these things, and we can see that by our very existence. We can see that by the very existence of the things that we see in creation, that we read about, that we study. Allah is Al-Badi. Allah is the incomparable originator. أقول قولي أستغفر لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. I know many of us, At some point, we had an idea, or maybe some kind of invention, maybe some kind of breakthrough technology, or some kind of breakthrough way of doing something. And maybe we were a little slow to getting that to market or getting that to the public. And we saw that someone else had the same idea, had the same product. Maybe they said something in the same way or a similar way that we do. And here it is. We see another difference between ourselves and our Creator, Al-Badi. We see that we can have the same idea. I and you could have the same idea, could come to the same conclusion and have the same plan for doing something. And maybe the plan that we developed, the course of action that we developed, or maybe the way that we came about making something, we had to interact with what was already created. We had to take something that was already created, a thought that was already created, or solve a problem that was already existing in a creation that was previously there to us, that was there. And so we had that to operate from. We were able to backwards plan and think through a solution for a problem that was in creation already. And maybe multiple of us, many of us had the same idea, this same concept, this same way to accomplish this thing, this same invention. But Allah, Al-Badi, He is the incomparable originator. There was not a problem that existed. There was nothing that existed prior to His decision to enact creation, to cause creation to come about. So it wasn't that He was solving for something. It wasn't that He was solving for boredom. It wasn't that He was solving for His need to be elevated and to be worshipped, to be held in high esteem. It wasn't that Allah was deficient in self-esteem, that He needed to create us in order to solve that feeling of maybe worthlessness, or hopelessness, or of loneliness. Allah didn't create us for Himself. He didn't create us because He needed to. He decided to create creation. And we are part of that. And He didn't have a template. He didn't have a model. He didn't have ChatGPT or some other form of AI to give Him ideas on how to produce these things. Allah developed all these things, all these perfect systems, all these things that we still wonder about and we have been exposed to for thousands of years. And maybe as technology has come on board, maybe for the past 50 years, things that we have studied, that we have access to every day, that we're still unlocking concepts. And Allah didn't take a long time to make these things. Allah didn't sit back and go to school and learn and study about something so that He could create it. Allah didn't take a long time to create this thing. All He said was be. And creation came about perfectly, in the exact way that He desired, in the exact way that was beneficial to us. This is why Allah is Al-Badi, the incomparable originator. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك السميع العليم إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له بذلك أمرت وأنا من المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.